What's their fantasy? It's today's question. Hi, I'm Sunny, and I have 6 piles you guys can choose from. From top to bottom, I have pile 1, 2, and 3, followed by 4, 5, and 6 from left to right. If you need more time, pause the video, skip to the timestamp in the description, and I'll see you at your pile of choice or piles of choice. So it's gonna be quick. It's not gonna be super descriptive. Like I'm just not that good with coming up with really juicy words and juicy descriptions, and people that are readers are fantastic at that. Sorry. I love my 18 plus tarot. They're great. It's unfortunate that they have to censor so much, because I know they have the capacity to give you the juicy details that you're really seeking out. So it's great. So I'm not going to be as juicy, but I'll make it interesting. But I'll keep it pretty fast. So for pile number 1, you guys have the 9 of Cups upright. So the person you're thinking about in your mind is someone that likes to be treated as your wish granted. Your wish granted. So they want to be treated like they're the prize to be won. They want to be seated in the hot seat. So, with that information, I do think this person wants to be cherished. They want to be the person either surrounded by, they want to be surrounded by their cups, their wealth, their emotions. They want to be treated like imagine, I don't know why I keep thinking of that scene of, this isn't like a dirty scene, but I think of Aladdin when he enters the cave and there's surrounded by fortune and interesting pieces that are priceless. That's how they imagine themselves to be. It's like they want to be surrounded by so much wealth, so much comforts, food, beautiful luxurious items. It could be silk items or fancy the chiffon. Chiffon's not that fancy. Chiffon's actually great fabric if it's light, but they could be interested in the taffeta dress, or the textures matter, textiles matter, prints matter. They want the best of the best, nothing less than that. So they want to be cherished. They want to be provided to. Sorry, they want to be catered to. Anything they desire, it's I think of A Friend Like Me, where he's like, Mr. Aladdin, sir, what wish would be, or something like that, and he's like, anything you want, you're gonna get it. That's what this person wants to be. More or less the fantasy that they think about is someone that really desires so many things that makes them content. So having these 3D items, let's say for example, gives them a sort of satisfaction emotionally. Not saying that wealth and stuff is gonna be this makes me feel happy and stuff, but if it's very alluring and luxual, put that S instead of the L. But yeah, I do think there's someone that's very interested in having a lot of good fortune, a lot of success when it comes to having materialistic things, but they really enjoy these pleasures that are more what's that word? I just get a Taurus vibe in here. It's they enjoy those leisurely pleasures, maybe even fancy trips too. So that's what I have for you, pile number 1. For pile number 2, you guys have the Star reversed. So their fantasy is possibly the fact that they want to be seen by people. So yes, it's a reversal. They might not have the confidence, right? They might not have the pizzazz to be look at me, look at what I can do. I want to be the it boy, the it girl. So you notice that this person wants to be seen, but they're not seen. So it's they want to be treated like they're the unique Aquarian. I don't know why I get this star energy, that Leo's Aquarius. The Leo Aquarius kind of what do they call oppositions? Are quite interesting. It's you went from maybe from the Aquarius to Leo, where it's you went from being part of the crowd to being the it person that everybody wants to follow, everybody wants to copy, everybody wants to know what are they up to. It feels like that. Their fantasy is having to be the person who is the star, the person who is seen, the person who is copied, the person who has paparazzi following them, for example, or they just want to be seen creatively because of their endeavors. They are a good guitar player and they're I want to be the best, I want to tour with the best bands, and make music, or I want to collaborate with people and just rap because that's going to be so cool. Being seen with a cool crowd is something they fantasize about. So I don't know if this is like something you might be into, but that's their fantasy. You know, this is their personality. Like internally, they possibly hide that aspect of them, and they don't really show that. It's like that internal desire of wanting to be more than what they are. It's something that's really ingrained in them, and that's what they desire, and that's their fantasy. It's like they want to look good in the they want to look good for the cameras. They want to look good. They don't want to have bad angles. They really are someone that would like to, for once in their life, feel like they can be vain and not feel guilty about it because they've always thought about other people first. So that's their fantasy, pile number 2. So next, pile number 3. Pile number 3, what's their fantasy? They have the justice upright. So the person in your mind, I just realized it's a little blurry. There you go. So the person in your mind, pile number 3, wishes to have the scales balanced. So maybe they didn't always feel like they were well received. Like I don't necessarily think this person in your mind is ugly. They're actually well proportioned when it comes to their physical appearance, like example face, right? Or they're just very attractive, but they don't feel like they have all the package. They feel like they might be missing something, and they feel like maybe people just focus on their external physical appearance, and their fantasy is to have that balance of like, I want to look smart and be smart, because I'm pretty sure they are smart, but people don't it's like, I think of Legally Blonde with this one, where it's like people just think she's a pretty face, but she's got brains, she's got style, she's got charisma, she's got a good heart, but people don't see all these wonderful assets about these people because you're focused more like, oh, she looks like a bimbo, right? She looks like a cute blonde bimbo that they can outsmart, like that seller who tried to sell her a dress way above like the actual price, and she's like, no, this is from last season, like I know you're trying to like make a fool out of me. It feels like that. So their fantasy is not to be taken advantage of. Their fantasy is to be treated with respect, but still acknowledge the fact that they're good looking people. They want to know that they're the person who has the beauty and the brains. I think of Miss Congeniality, the song Miss United States. So I do think they want to be like crowned the person, like I imagine being the person who's like crowned at the prom, right? They're like, thank you, here's my speech, and like everyone's yay, like cheering up for them. It feels like that. This person wants to feel the applause. They want to feel they're valuable because of what they can offer internally and the outside self. So I do think there's someone who's very elegant and regal, or at least they would try to portray this energy, because you know, not everyone can be picture perfect, right? But you can at least achieve it to some extent, right, within your own realm. So this person does feel like they wish to accomplish that by being fair, by being well liked, by being reasonable, and that's their fantasy, being like someone that's like respected but still feel like they're I just feel like it's like a Maude Clooney. Like she's beauty and brains, and she's elegant, she's sophisticated, she cares for people, she does so much for humanitarian causes. Like she's like, how do they I think there was an interview where it's like they called George Clooney Mr. Amal Clooney or something like that, and I was like, that's brilliant. Because I'm sorry, you just can't compare. Like, he's great looking and all, but like the man can't fit in her shoes. So it feels like that. That's their fantasy, pile number 3. So I hope you enjoyed that, regardless of your gender, by the way, and only take what resonates too. So next I have pile number 4. You guys have the Temperance reverse. So their fantasy, some of these I don't feel that I went to, juicy, because I don't want to say like, the sex word, but I don't think I was that juicy. but I'll try to. So with this one, I think this person, their fantasy has to do with being in excess. They want to live a life in excess, like an excess of partying, an excess of women and men, partners, right? An excess of food, and just being like, it feels very like Jupiterian, where it's like, I want to go big and hard and not go home. So it feels like that. This person doesn't want to be an angel. They want to be, they want to have their little devil face, where it's like, I want to be the party girl. I want to be on, like, doesn't mean they have to be, but like, they don't have to be mean or anything like that. It's just more so everyone gets to experience that at some point in their life, I think, where it's like they get to be, their like most excessive self at some point. Maybe not for long term, but at some point everybody does, where it's like, I want to do everything because I want to, and I don't want to hear no's. If I want to go shopping, I'm going to go shopping and shop till I drop. It's one of those things, like retail therapy, for example. Or I want to, like, go out in, like, yachts, or I want to go, like, party in, like, Milan, or, like, it's some exotic place, for example, or, like, an island. It feels like that, where it's like, this person wants to have it all. They want to go hard. They want to not be told no. They're gonna drink. I feel like they're more like drinking people. Like, their fantasies to be, like, constantly partying. And maybe, like, their means might not always be that great in real life. They have to moderate themselves, and, like, every now and then they get to go and have a little bit of fun with their friends, or, go out with their partner. But this person's fantasy, it just feels like they don't want to be living, like, with limitations. Limitations are not for them. With this Temperance card, it feels like they just want to, have a good time. They want people to accommodate to their needs and wants without having to consider other people. And that's pretty unique. I can't blame people like that, because, like, it's not always fun being like, oh, I have to restrict myself, or I have to say because of this, or like it's understandable. Jupiterian energy is very fun. Very, very fun. But everything in moderation, of course. And, the Temperance card is asking for moderation. And maybe because they have to moderate themselves a lot, because, it's the right thing to do, or because of health reasons too. It's like, you can't go overboard with food, because guess what? There's, like, metabolic issues, right? So, of course, everything would be great if we didn't have to worry about the consequences. So this is what this person's fantasy is about. It's just, living great, living to the fullest without consequences, living in excess. It seems pretty cool to them, but that's their fantasy. So thank you, pile number 4. Next is pile number 5. You guys have the Judgment upright. I'm going to take a quick water break, pile number 5. With pile number 5, I feel that their fantasy has to do with being loved and praised by everybody. Whether they have this in their life or not, it's completely different, but I think they fantasize that because they don't have that enough, or they don't get recognition enough. It feels like they want to be recognized for things they've done, like achievements and stuff, being worshipped because of their looks, their fashion, the people they're seen with. They want to be appreciated because of their artistic talents, their ability to be different and stand out from the crowd. They want to have it all. They want to have the it factor with this one. And I think I mentioned that maybe you're attracted to a different pile. I don't remember which one, but I do think they have some similarities here, where there's, like, I think this is blurry, sorry. I do think that they want to be cheered on by a crowd. They want a posse. They want to be like I need this, and someone's already there, like, on standby, and they give them, like, their coffee, and then somebody else gives them their, like, outfit of the day, or, like, somebody else is, like, filtering out their pictures to, like, put out for the gram or whatever. So it feels like that, where it's like they are someone that wants to be relevant, someone that wants to be desired by people, someone that wants to be maybe possibly in power. So their fantasy is to be like this, which is interesting. I feel like there's something about being well liked, being appreciated, being desired by people. They want to be like the person who I don't know why I wanted to say it, but maybe this applies to some people that breaks, couples, and it's like they're the reason why people break up to be with them, kind of thing. So maybe some people might like that, but it does feel like this person wants to be worshipped. They want to be liked. So that star power is pretty being influential is something that's really interesting to them, that's desired, that's their inner fantasy, which is kind of interesting. It's like, wow, they really desire to be influential. Maybe they appreciate it, or like they just like love the idea of having so much power over people. It's like the stands, right? That could be something that's fascinating to them and attractive. People worshiping them without any consequence of what could happen after, right? So that's their fantasy. Pile number 5. So thank you, all of you stuck to the very end. Last but not least, pile number 6, you guys have the Knight of Wands upright. So what's their fantasy, pile number 6? Wow. Talk about, I think this person's fantasy is to be constantly, like, I think they're the kind of person who's very adventurous with many things that they might not be as adventurous like in the present day, present day, right? Possibly even things that they can't do and say in the daytime. So they might be someone that is liking the risky behavior when it comes to encounters with people at night, if you get what I'm trying to say. They could enjoy that. They could find that alluring, being with different people all the time, having the stamina to be with people and to get with people, being flirtatious, not having consequences of having to be maybe faithful to one person or just sticking to one person. Monogamy doesn't seem as interesting to them, but I'm not saying polygamy is either, but I'm just saying there's someone that wants to like pick and choose when they want to be with people, pick and choose who and when and how they get with people. So that's something that they really fantasize about. I think this person desires to be youthful, desires to be in a vivacious energy of like, this is my prime. That being in their prime seems to be a big thing here. It's like maybe it's their ego, but yeah, they have a lot of desire, wants to be like very fiery and temperamental, or having their ego stroked. It feels like that, where it's like a lot of fire energy, likes to be taken care of when it comes to their egos, and they enjoy that. So I do think this Knight of Wands upright feels like they're always up for an adventure, always starting fresh, new, not ever having to say endings kind of suck. So not hearing that is kind of nice to them, or like just not having endings. I think they're not good with endings, so that's why they like starting fresh with people. But overall, with this Knight of Wands, I feel that they might be a little bit not airy, but how can I say, there's someone who's not going to stick around for long. It's just they're here for a good time, not a long time. They're here for a good party. But I do think they're thinking, they're the kind of person who would like to think with their head, possibly the wrong one, and not think about, they don't want to be in their thoughts and mind all the time. They just want to do stuff because of carnal desires. They just want to be someone who's just here for like, she's and giggles. I was about to say that word. But yeah, I do think they're here for a good time, and they want to just jump ahead, like with no second thoughts. There's someone that's like ready to go. But yeah, I do think there's someone who would possibly even want to be more physically attractive, like be more muscular and stuff, being more toned. Someone who takes body into considerations, or just want to be looking attractive for the opposite sex or the same sex, depending on who you're thinking about. But remember, this is just a general reading, so only take what resonates. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in a different video, and have a great day. So bye, everybody.